Hello, and welcome to this demonstration of Bloomsbury Architecture Library. Some of you may already be familiar with the library. However, today I'm going to be walking you through the key content, features, and functionality of the site so that you can hopefully learn how your students and researchers can get the most out of using the library. If you're familiar at all with any of Bloomsbury's other platforms, you'll recognize this homepage. It's in the same style that we use. It's meant to be engaging and easy for users to navigate. We have our navigation bar at the top here, as well as our search bar. And below here, we have our carousel, which just showcases any content that has currently been added recently, as well as our featured content. If I scroll down, we have our feature content in a little bit more detail, as well as jump links to some of the key content types on the site, including Sir Bannister Fletcher, our ebooks and buildings pages, the world map, our timeline, and a glossary, which is included in Sir Bannister Fletcher. If I move up to the navigation bar, we have a few options here. You have the option to explore by our taxonomy search terms, so you can look by place, period, subject and style, people, cultures and religions, materials, or architects. However, if you're looking for a specific content type, for example, if you're looking for a chapter within Sir Bannister Fletcher, if you're looking for a key building page, an image, or a museum object, then you have the option to filter down by content type using the Browse Contents bar. For collections, we have more information about the collections within Bloomsbury Architecture Library itself. So Bloomsbury Architecture Library is comprised of two main collections. We have our core collection, which houses Sir Bannister Fletcher's Global History of Architecture in its 21st edition. This is digitally exclusive to the Architecture Library and is the first time that it has been updated since Sir Bannister Fletcher's death, with over 100 experts making sure that the content is up to date and relevant for students and researchers today. Within the Sir Bannister Fletcher, you have key buildings pages. These are also exclusive to Bloomsbury Architecture Library. And as well as that, we have a wealth of critical and contextual ebooks that add to that content. You have the option to download the title list, or you can explore the collection within the site itself, which shows over 100 ebooks and Sir Bannister Fletcher chapters, which are available to you. On top of the core collection, we also have Architecture, Design and Practice Online. This is our most recent collection, launched in December of 2020, which contains over 200 key titles on studio design and professional practice. If I very quickly click through to the design games for architecture and open up the building blocks page, you'll be able to see that we have this PDF viewer, which I can open up into a two-page view that has specific information here on specific technical information on how to design architecture within gaming. All of the titles within Architecture, Design and Practice Online have case studies and technical drawings and a wealth of practical information that students can use not only throughout their student life, but also throughout their professional life. If I move over to the About page, we have just a general overview of Bloomsbury Architecture Library. This looks at not only the collections that are currently in the Architecture Library, but also any upcoming collections which are planned to be launched in the future, and more information about when those will be coming. And finally, on our navigation bar, we have the librarians page. The librarians page contains information about MARC records, usage statistics, promotional materials that librarians can use to let students know that they have access to the library, as well as who to contact with regards to trials, subscriptions, and any further questions that you might have. So I mentioned featured content. I'm just going to jump back to the homepage now. Featured content is something that is added regularly to the site by the Bloomsbury Architecture Library team. It is usually based on a thematic topic currently relevant. So, for example, this month's featured content, we have modernity and tradition in Indian architecture, as well as COP26 and architecture. If I open this, you can see that we have 2 articles written here. And once feature content is updated and new feature content is added, this gets moved to previously featured content. So you don't lose access to it. You do need to be logged in to see it, but all of our previously featured content is still available on the site. These are intended to be introductory guides to topics and to be used as jumping off points to do your own research within these themes. So for example, if I click through to the jump link here on Habib Rahman and Achud Kanvinde, I will be taken straight to the chapter within Sir Bannister Fletcher itself that covers both of these architects and also shows the Gandhi Gap Memorial designed by Habib Rahman. So these are intended to be used as ways into the content. Now, I am going to do exactly that. If we imagine that someone has just read our feature content on Indian architecture and then read the one on sustainability and has thought, maybe I would like to know more about sustainability in Indian architecture. Well, there's a few ways that we can do that. Firstly, we can use the quick search bar. So I can just search for sustainability, the search bar. Now you'll see that once you search, you have the options to refine the results on the left-hand side. You can refine by a number of things, including content type, place, period, subjects and styles, people's cultures and religions, image, materials, and architects. In this case, I'm looking for information on sustainability in India, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to refine this by place. So I'm going to filter by India. And our updates have been saved. Okay. Now, if I click through to the Indian coffee house image here, you can see that we have an image of the Indian coffee house in Trivandrum, Kerala, India from 1982. We have related images on the right-hand side, as well as information, taxonomy information on the left-hand side with links to more related content down here as well. And there's also a description of the image and the document that it comes from, which you can indeed click through and be taken straight to the key building page within the chapter. I have the option to save the image for later within the personal folder. Once you create your own folder within Bloomsbury Architecture Library, you can save images, book chapters, searches, and anything so that you can go back to it at a later date if you are looking for something specific for research. I am going to open the image now. You have the option to zoom in. You can also move this around so that you can see more, and you have the option to rotate if you so desire. Now, if I go back to the search terms, and I'm going to filter down now by Bannister Fletcher chapter, and we can see that we now have content related to sustainability within India, within Sir Bannister Fletcher chapters themselves. So you can continually refine the searches until you get exactly what you're looking for. And I can go ahead and save this search so that I have it to look for later. I'm just going to save this as sustainability in India, SPF, and this will mean that I can come back to that at a later date if I'm looking for more information within this search term. Now, another way that you could search for similar information is you could use the Explorer function. So if we went to Explore by place, I could maneuver down and search for architecture content in India through this way. And again, I have the options to refine all on the left-hand side, and you'll notice that all of the images come across on the top. Now this time, I think I will refine again by Sir Bannister Fletcher, but I'm going to go into one of the chapters and show you what that looks like. So if we click on Indian subcontinent 1947 to present day, you can see within the Sir Bannister Fletcher chapter itself, we have a table of contents with jump links allowing you to move down to any part of the page which is relevant to you. As I mentioned earlier, the key buildings pages, which I will jump to now, are exclusive to Bloomsbury Architecture Library within Sir Bannister Fletcher, and it contains images and also a wealth of information around the images about key buildings from the times and places related to the chapter. So we have the Chandigarh Capital Complex in Punjab, India, as well as the Maulana Azad Memorial from Delhi, India. If I jump back up to the top now, I can again save this chapter for later. I'm just going to save it to my folder. I also have the option here to print. I can share via email or via Google, Facebook, Twitter, or Pinterest. And I have the option for citations in various options depending on which style your institution uses. And you can either copy this straight to clipboard, paste it into a document, or you can export this to a RIS file for a bibliographic citation document. Now, those are two ways that we can use the explore and the search functions. You can also do an advanced search. So for example, if a student has been given a specific title, or if they're looking for example, something with eco-design in the title. We can go to advanced search, type in eco-design. We want it to be in the title. And I'm also going to filter by book chapter for this one because I don't want any images or museum objects to show up. Great. And again, I'm going to save this search. Design. And you can see that we have the Dictionary of Eco-Design, which is the top result here. If I click through, again, we have this lovely PDF viewer, and it takes us straight to the chapter. If we want to go to the book chapter for more information, sorry, the book content page even, then we can see there is a summary / abstract for the book, as well as a table of contents. We can jump to any page in there, and there is also the appendices and any front matter within. So those are the three main ways that we expect people to use the search function, either the quick search, the explore by taxonomy searches, or the advanced search. However, you can also browse by content type, as I mentioned earlier. So if we go to Sir Bannister's Global History of Architecture here, you can see both volumes are here. And if we just click into the second volume, then again, we have all of the information that we need. And we can have the table of contents allowing us to jump to any part of the book. And you can also you can search within the book for a specific term, and you can go via page number to any page that we want. So if I go to page 766, it will take me straight to the chapter on Southeast Asia, Australia, and the Pacific from 1780 to 1914, and it'll take me straight to this page on Indigenous building traditions. And as previously mentioned, the key buildings that come within the chapters are also able to be viewed separately. So if I go now back to top and I go to browse contents and key buildings, then all of the buildings that are included within the Sir Bannister Fletcher chapters are also available here for viewing. If I click through, I'll just click through on the Abbey Church of Fontevraud here, and you can see that the text that is included in the chapter is also here, so you don't have to be within the chapter itself to have that information, although there is a link straight to the chapter if you so wish. And the information on construction and place, as well as a map to pinpoint the location of the building, is here. And once again, we can open this and we can zoom in and we can maneuver around as we need to. We also have images and museum objects, which are of great value. The museum objects specifically, we have over 300 images from the National Archives at Kew. These are incredibly detailed images, and I will click through to show you now. There's all of this information on the side telling you the type of building, where the image is taken from, more information about the image itself, as well as a link to the archives for you to go directly to it. But if I just zoom in here, you'll be able to see how incredibly detailed and wonderful this content is. And you can really move around and see all of the detail in there. And there are over 300 images from the National Archives at Kew that are all incredibly wonderful and detailed and worth taking the time to look through. And last but not least, in the browsing contents, we also have the world map and our timeline. The world map, as you can probably expect, is just a map, in which case all of the content that is tagged with that specific place is highlighted. But the great thing is you can actually narrow your search down. So if I click here through to North America, I have the option to look at all 1,283 items that we have in North America, or I continue to move my search in further and further. So if we go down to California here, then it will take me straight to the search term for California. The world map is a really great way to explore different continents and to be able to see how much content there are in each part of the world. And if I just open this lovely image of the Crystal Cathedral, which is in Garden Grove, California, and I'm gonna save this again to my folder for later. And once again, we can open this and see. And much in a similar vein, we also have the timeline. Now, the timeline of world architecture might sound incredibly daunting, but what this is key buildings throughout time relevant to each period, and it has been split out, so it's not all in one go. You have the option to filter down. If we sort of look through here, if you click through 600 to 799, you have this lovely list here of key buildings in chronological order throughout 600 to 799 CE. If I just click open the Omar Mosque here in Busra from 721, again, we have all of this lovely information from the key building page in Sir Bannister Fletcher to look at and to save for later. And I think that's everything that I have to show you. I will just very quickly show you, once you have saved all of this content, where it goes. So I have my folder here, which has all my content that I have saved throughout this demonstration. And on top of that, I also have my saved searches. So I have the eco-design search, which is the advanced, and I have the option to set alerts. So if more content is added, which is tagged with these search terms, then I can get a notification, which is incredibly useful for research projects and ongoing topics of interest. I hope that wasn't too overwhelming. If there are any questions, then please feel free to go to bloomsburyarchitecturelibrary.com/librarians, and you will find contact emails there for if you're looking for information on trials and purchases, or if you would just like any information about the product itself that you didn't receive today. Thank you very much.